What's up, guys? Today we're going to be doing a review on the new Backrooms movie by A24 and a YouTube director, Kane. I saw the movie yesterday with a couple friends. The movie theater wasn't very busy. I went too. But anyways, we're going to have three categories today for our review. We're going to be looking at the story, the visuals, and then how enjoyable of a movie I thought it was. So anyways, guys, let's get into the story here. So for the story, guys, the first thing I would like to say is I thought Clark was a very interesting character. You know, we saw how his wife left him and now he's struggling on his own, drinking heavily every night at his furniture store. And what I liked about Clark was he was a pretty unambiguous character. Like, we didn't really know where he was going to go after he found the back rooms. Obviously, he seemed pretty excited. He starts exploring. He goes to tell his therapist about it, and she doesn't believe him. He even has the map that she won't look into at all. But anyways, so Clark, I like Clark as a character. I thought he was pretty good. I thought his story wasn't too bad. One thing I didn't like as much was I thought that Clark's employees and him maybe could have explored a little bit longer before he went down the hole. I mean, it was kind of like in and out, they're dead, you know. So I didn't mind the way they went out necessarily in the story. I just wish we could have maybe seen Clark and them explore a little more first. I liked how Clark just kind of disappears when the one employee tells him, "Clark, behind you." I liked how he kind of just disappears. We don't know what's happening to him, and we go back to the therapist. What I would say is some of those therapist spots were a little had some drag to them, you know. I think they could have maybe progressed their story a little quicker, because it was like, oh, we see Clark discover the back rooms, then oh, we see these kids discover the back rooms, and oh, now we gotta watch this lady discover the back rooms again. And I understand that it's that was pretty integral to the story, but I wish maybe we could have seen a bit more quickness to how they went about it. But one thing I really wanted to know is, who is this pirate guy? You know, is it Clark transformed? Is it, I mean, obviously we see Clark interacting with this guy like that they're one and the same, right? So I thought that was pretty interesting. What else I would say about this movie is, was the therapist let go at the end there after she is found by the scientists? Because that's pretty, I mean, they're probably setting up a sequel pretty obviously. I would assume this movie's going to end up making them a good amount of money, so. But yeah, overall, the story, I'd probably give the story maybe a 7 out of 10. I think the therapist parts could have been sped up a little bit. But overall, Clark was a really interesting character, and seeing how he went crazy down there and just immediately started wanting, he's saying that he'll never change and he wants to live there. I enjoyed that part quite a bit, honestly. So I'll give the story a 7 out of 10. Let's move on to the visuals. Alright, guys, so talking about the visuals here, you know, the first thing I'd say is all the backrooms parts where they're running through and we're just seeing this maze of more and more and more randomness, right, of what could be next. You never know when you're watching it. And that was the highlight of the film for me. I mean, watching Clark that first time when he gets in there and he's just running, and then he goes from one room to another, and then he's in this room with a big hole in it, and he hears that monster coming for him, the entity. He goes through this like tiny door that's like almost like some kind of visual trick for your eyes, where it's like something you'd see in Disneyland or something, and he goes through this tiny door, and that actually leads back to where he came from. And then when we see Clark again with his map, it looks like he's explored a bunch of it we didn't get to see, unfortunately. But then that shot when they go down that tunnel and it's all on the VHS camera, and that was another thing I really liked about the movie, was those VHS sections were pretty well done as well. You know, the entities we see at the dinner scene with the girl, the therapist and Clark, they are very unnerving to look at. I thought that they had a lot of potential for a sequel. You know what they could do with it, especially showing the therapist has her own entity or remembrance at the end. That could lead to a lot of stuff, you know. I really would say that even that pirate man guy, he was scary, dude. He looked terrifying chasing Clark. He just bites him in the shoulder after Clark's trying to convince him that everything's going to be okay, and he chases the therapist. I mean, honestly, this was a very entertaining movie to watch, to look at. The shot selection was pretty good. I enjoyed the transitions from VHS to just regular filming too. The strong piece of this is definitely the liminal spaces they showed, though. I mean, that it was really, really entertaining when they'd be running and you're just like, what's going to be there next, and you have no idea. So overall, I'm going to give the visuals for this movie probably an 8.5 out of 10. I thought it was intriguing to watch. There wasn't much that I didn't enjoy. So anyways, I'm going to move on to my overall rating and enjoyability of this film. And so overall, my final review for this movie, I'm going to go ahead and give this a 7.5 out of 10. Pushing an 8 here. It was a pretty decent movie, I can't lie. I have just seen that Obsession movie. I really like that Obsession movie. Let me know if you guys want a review of that down in the comments. But that Obsession movie, that one had me terrified the whole time, you know, and going into this Backrooms movie, I knew it would not be as scary as that, because that really was one of the scariest movies I've seen in a while. So I wasn't expecting much on the horror front, but you know that the liminal spaces do kind of make you unnerved just watching it. So I'd say this movie starts off really strong. Some of those therapist sections, like I said, dragged on with her to do with her past and her mom and all that. But other than that, like I said, I will definitely watch a sequel if they come out with another one. I'm excited to see what this Kane guy can do with this Backroom series now that he has the budget behind him for it. So anyways, guys, yeah, let's enjoy the films we have while we have them, right? Anyways, as always, keep your stick on the ice.